you miss me? I've been out of it comatose, but the depression is over.
Hello and welcome to Controlled Burns, your typically weekly hobby list podcast from me, your host, Andrew Burns, or Slow Burn from Wildfire Gaming. I'm also joined this week by my semi co-host and wife, Reagan. Thanks for being here.
Wow, thanks for having me. High praise.
I've been on a bit of a hiatus over the last several weeks. Guess it was a couple weeks ago. We were celebrating Reagan's birthday, so we were kind of gone for the weekend.
Yes.
And then last week I was sick.
Yeah.
And I
My
didn't
birthday
really
got him sick.
Didn't quite have my feet under me just yet.
Somehow I dodged that one. Should have just taken advantage of it. Had my own podcast that week.
Oh,
Ranked Barbie movies or something fun.
but we didn't do that. And then on top of all of this, for the last couple weeks, instead of doing like the typical stuff where I, kind of do a good job of planning for the show, quite frankly, we've just been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I have a long and storied history with the game and the studio's other works. Starting with Fallout 3. And then Reagan and I have played the Fallout games together, and we had flirted with getting into Skyrim in the past because I knew that Reagan would appreciate the fantasy nature of it. But it's not really a big storytelling game. And so that's typically what I go for when showing you Reagan, is storytelling. But after we watched all the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons with Brandon, my brother, we haven't really had an outlet for our fantasy itch
Except
outside of our
for
reading of the Song of Ice and Fire book.
which we are close to Andrew finishing Storm of Swords. I'm sure we'll have an episode about that. It's
Oh,
very
you're sure?
exciting.
Sure.
Reaching the climax of this book. Lots of stuff happening all at once. A few major changes. If you spoil it for him, I'll kill you. Thank you.
No one's gonna do that.
It's it is just so incredible that you haven't had the end of this book spoiled for you after everything. I'm worried. My only worry is that we'll get to it and you'll be like, oh yeah, that was somewhere in there. But I don't think so. I think it's going to surprise you. So I think you'll at least want to talk about that. Maybe we'll at least do a segment on A Storm of Swords since we talked about the other books in conjunction with the seasons.
Yeah, it's true. It would be pretty easy podcast because I take such extensive notes on it.
Let us know if you're
Um,
interested.
Yeah, right. But anyway, with all the Skyrim playing, which those books have definitely pushed me toward. That's what made me want to go back to it. I have just fallen head over heels back in love with it. After spending some time away from it for the last several years, I have not really played Skyrim, so it's like kind of returning after a long hiatus.
I think our first night on the return, you said you were having S tier fun.
S tier fun, I did have S tier fun. I don't know if I've had S tier fun the last several times that we've played it.
Well, I discovered fishing, and that's been a hassle for you.
Yes, it is. So I actually have my own character going based off of Jon Snow from
Yes.
Game of Thrones.
Book Jon Snow.
And I'm playing Skyrim Survival Mode, which is from the Anniversary Edition for the first time. And so I'm having a blast with that. But I'm not really talking about that today because today I wanted to just talk with Reagan about her reactions to the game. We've spent a good 70 hours with it
Oh my God.
since it is such a well-known and beloved game for the general gaming public. And it's interesting to get a newcomer's perspective on it, especially someone that is nowhere near as well versed in gaming as many of those listening probably are. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk to Reagan about her reactions to aspects of the game and see what she likes and dislikes about it.
Yes. I
And
did
how
argue that we
it's-
should wait until I'm finished with the game, but
Well, you have
finished
finished
the
the
main
game, but-
story. And you argued that it might be interesting to hear some of my thoughts as I'm undecided on some of these other
Yeah, and there's things that
questions.
you don't know about the game. So
Sure.
there's many.
So maybe that's exciting for people.
So we'll see how it stacks up to other games that she's played.
It is
But
not ranked yet on my
no,
list.
no. Controlled Burns is a weekly hobby list podcast with a particular focus on lists and topics related to video games, music, TV, and film,
Now I have a confession to make.
as well as other hobbies and aspects of pop culture.
I always say that so fast. Are you saying hobby list podcast?
Yeah, it's a word I made up
Hobby list.
because it's like a hobbyist, but instead it's a hobby list.
Oh, I see. Very clever. Love it. If I saw it written out, I would have gotten it immediately.
If you're interested in writing into the podcast and having your comments and questions read on air, you can write in at ControlledBurnes with an ES at gmail.com.
Love to hear from you.
No.
Well, you can spoil anything you want, except future House of the Dragon seasons for Game of Thrones. But just label them so that I can screen them, and please don't spoil my fun. I'm so excited to see Andrew react to this. Okay, back to Skyrim.
So technically we started the game a couple years ago, but the vast majority of our playing has been the last couple of weeks. But a couple years ago when we started it, your initial reaction, I believe, was that it was the most beautiful game you'd ever seen.
Now, I don't know that that is true, but it has a lot of really beautiful
That's what you
nature
said.
scenes. The people are certainly not the most beautiful people I've ever seen. That's probably The Last of Us 2. And The Last of Us 2 has a lot of beautiful nature too, but it also has a lot of ugly post-apocalyptic stuff. Whereas Skyrim is all the settings I like.
Right.
Beautiful mountains, rivers, waterfalls everywhere, some really beautiful underground caves. So if that was like updated to
So this
Last
is
of Us 2 technology,
this is the update that we're
not
playing.
to Last of Us 2 technology level,
No, it is not.
it
That will
would
never
absolutely be
happen
the most
with this
beautiful
company.
game. As it stands, I really like some elements of it. And added elements like the unicorn is gorgeous.
Okay.
It's got the perfect horse, got these gray speckles on his butt, or
All right.
gray butt with white speckles, my favorite.
Well, that is one of the things that's interesting about this playthrough is that we are playing the anniversary edition, and I have only played. I did make a Sephiroth based character, and I did play him for a lot of time, right when the anniversary edition came out. So it was like 2021, I think. So I spent some time with the anniversary edition stuff, but there was other stuff that I did not touch at all, like the wild horses, the unicorn, certainly the fishing, um, some of the houses.
The pets, right?
I had no, I had the pets, I think,
Okay.
but I didn't really like use them much for anything. I don't think.
Okay.
It certainly wasn't as big of a priority as it was for you. But definitely some of the houses that they added, I hadn't messed with. Unicorn, the fishing, and just some of the other little things that we've done. Probably some of the weapons. I don't know if I'd done that thing under the Solitude sewers before, where it was like kind of created a whole other environment. Which
Right.
Brandon told me when he came over, I was showing him some of that stuff, and he said that a lot of that was based off of Oblivion's DLC.
Mm.
So that was interesting.
You've
Uh,
never collected those Nim roots?
I don't think that was in the original game.
Oh, it was?
I don't think I had collected the Crimson Nern roots. Um, so I wanted to, the way I organize this is we're going to discuss kind of the major aspects of the game and kind of get your take on them. So if you listen to the studio Bethesda talk about it, which we have, because we've listened to No Clips, most of No Clips documentary on it. Eventually we kind of gave up, I think, but
Well,
we've watched the majority. They talk a lot about their world building. And so with Skyrim, there's a lot of effort that was put into that with the map and the typography and the kind of the lore and the gods and the Daedra and all that stuff. So what do you think about all that as a newcomer, but as a fantasy fan?
I love a good map. I've been familiar with the map for years because it's been on your map wall
Yeah, but
in your
you haven't like
office.
studied it.
Sure. Um, I am curious about a zoomed out map that includes more than just the Skyrim part
Which
of
I
the
have
world.
up there, I think. Well, sort of. So I have the Skyrim map and I have the Oblivion map. The Oblivion map is actually the Cyrodiil, so it's the I guess country province, I think is how they describe it. That is south of Skyrim. But it's a little bit more zoomed out, I feel like, and I think you can kind of see a little, at least like where things, like what countries, because like Morrowind is to the east of Skyrim, I believe.
Okay.
Obviously, to the north is nothing because it's the ocean.
Hmm.
And then imagine, I guess there's southern to the west, imagine. But obviously, Skyrim is the northernmost province.
Hmm. Well, I'm curious, like where the Khajiit, my people, are from.
Well, they're from
Uh,
elsewhere. It's a can't remember where it is on the map, but that is a sandy area, like a desert region, I think.
okay. Um, but in general, I like it. I like how you kind of uncover places as you go. I wish I'd spoken to the Jarls everywhere sooner so I could get a better idea of each. Not city, what are they called?
No, they are called cities.
Cities? Okay.
Well, there's also holds.
Okay. Well, the
Each
culture
each
around each
hold
hold.
has a capital. There's 9 holds in Skyrim. Each of them has a capital, and that's where the Jarl lives. The Jarl rules the hold. And then there's supposed to be a High King that rules over all of Skyrim, but there isn't in Skyrim because he's been assassinated.
Okay. Um, well, I like the kind of gradient of beliefs of siding
Mhm.
with the Empire versus the Stormcloaks, which I'm still undecided about.
Sure.
Um, and then yeah, the different designs are pretty cool, like the one that's all foggy and Riften, I think it's called, on the docks.
Riften, yeah. So Riften is where is the to the east. That's the eastmost province. That's where all the we get all our fishing quests.
Mhm. And that's where we
Um,
got the lioness from.
that's true.
And she kind of endeared me to it because she was like, it's a mess, but I want to, it's worth defending anyway, and I want to help these
You
people
used
out.
to like the Jarl of Riften.
I did. I liked her. She seemed to actually care about the people, and she might have been a little bit manipulated by the people around her, but politics are tricky, and that doesn't mean that she was, I mean, certainly it's worse now with the people that were pulling strings behind the scenes actually in charge
Maybe
up
Blackfire.
front. Yeah, not a big fan of her, although I don't know much about either right now, to be fair.
Hmm.
Mostly what I've done in Riften is spread the good word
Of
of
Mara,
Mara.
one of the goddesses.
Yes.
Well, what do you think about that? The it's nine divines or eight if you adhere to the outlaw of Talos worship.
Yeah, which I'm not a huge Talos defender. Like it kind of sounds like he was just a dude.
Oh, that's a very
Like maybe
controversial
a
statement.
dragonborn like me.
He was a Dragonborn for sure.
I could see a world in which people try to make me my character, the player of
Oh,
dragons,
well, you have killed quite a few.
god in the future, but that doesn't mean I am. I don't know. I'm uh atheist in real life.
Sure.
So might be a touch skeptical about all the gods, but
Yeah.
I'm not super passionate about
At the
the
same
issue
time,
of
at the
Talos.
end of one thing that kind of puts a spin on that is at the end of the game you do go to Sovngarde. So Sovngarde
That's true.
is in fact a real place.
That's true. It's not like in the Song of Ice and Fire where it's kind of up in the air with all the religions. Like there's an
Now we
afterlife.
did not see Talos there.
Oh, that's
So that
interesting.
was not confirmed. But there is absolutely a Sovngarde, which is where Nords go. It's basically Valhalla. When you die in combat, you go to Sovngarde.
So that doesn't necessarily confirm the existence of the gods because we
No,
didn't meet any gods there.
that's true. But we did meet historical figures there.
Yeah, so that could just
And
be
we did,
like
so we do know that there is an actual.
next plane stuff. It doesn't mean there's a creator.
And there's supposed to be multiple different afterlives. It depends on how you die and things like that.
Right,
Because there's
like
also,
with the like Viking mythology, you have to die with a sword in your hand.
right, I think that's the case in Sovngarde as well. I think you're supposed to die in combat.
Okay, interesting.
Um, the there's also the Daedra, which are
Right.
kind of more like demon kind of like I guess they're like Satan kind of, but they're different. There's quite a few
Pagan.
of them.
I mean, certainly we've had a lot of iffy
Yeah,
Daedra, but there's
I
that one
know.
nice one we just talked to. So not all
Sure.
Daedra.
Yeah, we've met a few. We met Azurid most recently. I know we met the guy with Barbas. I forgot which one he is. Barbas is the dog that talked.
Right, that one definitely problematic. For sure wanted to kill a lot of humans.
There's Sanguine who gave us the rose. Really, all he did is have a drinking contest with us, and then we, you know, raised a little bit of hell across Skyrim, but didn't do anything too dramatic. Sold a guy's goat to a giant, and we almost got married to a hag
There's some
raven.
goats too.
Yeah, I didn't.
Dragons need love too.
Yeah, okay. So he doesn't seem, as far as they go, too bad.
I'm just saying, like this.
I'll tell you this.
The goats probably also have. There's probably also some problematic of the seven gods.
Well, read the real Berenzia. Well, you'll learn about some things about Talos while he was alive. I'll tell you what.
Oh boy,
But it's a very interesting read.
is he kind of gray?
He's an interesting character for sure.
All right. Well, so I've read almost nothing of the books
Fishing
unless
books.
I've read books that are quest related, but I haven't read uh
Yeah, and journals.
yes. Whereas you've read quite a bit of the Skyrim.
Well, when I first started the game, all way back in, I don't think I actually played it in 2011. I think it was probably 2012 when I played it for the first time. But I saw that there were books. I wanted to read them all, and then that quickly got out of hand because there were just way too many. So what I've been doing with the Jon Snow character is I have been reading one per hour.
Okay.
So I've read about 45. I counted. I'm being pretty generous on what I count. I counted the fishing books that we read.
Hey, they're on the shelf. They're
Yeah.
books. They're bound,
I,
published.
I honestly, the reason I counted is like because I had to go through the work of reading that crap, so I'm gonna count it.
Yeah.
And most of them, I think it's awesome that they have all those books. I think it's adds to the world building of the game. And you do learn interesting things from some of them.
Okay. No problem.
Most of them are not very long, but some of like the Real Brenzia, this is a 5 part epic,
And that's your favorite?
and they're each one that I have read has taken me about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Those are the longest that I found. There's also I started the Argonian account, which I'm told is good. So there's this video that I've seen on YouTube. It's actually one of the top contender for the most annoying YouTube video I've ever seen in my life. I just hate everything about the guy that is presenting it. You would probably like him. It's like probably what you look for in a YouTube personality.
Rude.
He's over the top, annoying, extremely expressive, just all these things that I hate.
The more I look for intelligent British men telling me theories about the psychology of characters and
Yeah.
what's going to happen in Winds of Winter.
Anyway, I cannot stand this guy, but he did read all the point of the video is he read all the books and he like kind of tried to categorize them and he picked out the ones that he thought were the best, which did not include the real Brenzia, but he did have the Argonian account in there, and it is pretty good. I think I've read a couple parts of the Argonian account. Um, so anyway, there's some good ones in there.
Well, what I was going to say is that the part of my issue with this game is that I never feel like I can quite make an informed decision because it's just so expansive. I'm like, well, I just don't have the base knowledge needed, like
I
to
think it's kind of cool because it's like there's yeah, it is really expensive, so you just kind of have to you just get a glimpse of it, and the more time you spend with it, the more you understand about it.
sure. I'm just like not confident in a lot of my opinions, like about the Stormcloaks versus the Empire. I know so little about the history of the Empire relative to how long they've been around and how much horrible stuff I'm sure they've done. But
Yeah.
we can get into that debate later. I kind of turmoil over that decision,
I
which I've
guess
not made yet.
another thing that I would am curious how you think they did on is one of the things that they highlighted in that documentary was people were concerned at first at Bethesda that it was going to be kind of too samey because they just thought of Skyrim as the northern one, so it's just going to be all snow. And that guy kind of tried to talk about how they split it up into different. The word that people use in the gaming industry today is biomes, which I think is a dumb word, but different environments.
Well, yeah, but a bio means something in a college.
I know it
Like,
does.
I'm sure that's not the way that they're using it in
No,
these
I think it
games.
generally is, but anyway, so yes, different environments throughout the game. Do you think that they had enough variety, or do you think it gets a little too samey?
Um, I think so. I think they do a good
Do
job
you have a favorite
in the
area?
way that I mean, with the cities, like the way that they did
Whiterun is your
Oregon
favorite city, I think you said.
versus, well, yeah, White One's gorgeous, but then there's like the one where everything's made of rock, so the stuff doesn't burn
Small
down.
Garth,
Um, there's
The
the
Reach,
small kind of snowy one. There's
Stone Star, also Winterhold.
um, sure. The one where most of it's been burnt down because of or not burnt down, flooded.
Washed
I don't
away?
know. Yeah,
Yeah, that was Winterhold.
because of maybe because of the college.
Yeah, unclear.
Yeah, I have done all the college stuff, and I'm suspicious for sure.
They definitely did not exactly say no. I mean, I think one person said it's unfounded that it was us.
It's okay. Who was it then?
Yeah. Well, it could have just been a freak accident or a freak storm.
Yeah, that just well, okay, so if it was a freak accident, then the college like did some magic to protect just their area.
Because it is the one that actually was closest to the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's still standing.
That's the only viable explanation that isn't they caused it. Um, Anyway, but in terms of like environments, I think that no, it's not all like there's the one where it's more kind of fall coded. There's areas where
That's actually kind of Riften too. When you get outside of the city, that's where they have a lot of the like orange leaf trees and stuff.
mhm, um
The Rift, I suppose.
there's areas that are more forested or more watery or coastal or
Yeah, Falkreath is very
whatever.
foresty.
Um, I would love even more variety in plant life.
Mm.
Like I think I've seen pretty much every flower, and it's not even enough to fill our garden.
Well,
For flower, specifically like something in bloom.
right.
There's more like mushrooms and stuff that we've put in a greenhouse.
Mhm.
There's enough variety if you include all of that for the ingredients. But uh, anyway, I think that they've done a good job. My biggest critique would probably be when we go underground.
Oh,
A
the
lot of
caves.
stuff gets I call Bethesda colored,
Mhm.
which is this very kind of
It's more.
brownish green.
It's just the game industry at that the PS3 360 era
Yeah.
games were brown.
It and then eventually maybe you'll get to like a one pretty area in the cave
Yeah, and
where
your
it's unique.
follower will react to it.
Yeah, and it's like,
Wow,
well,
would you look at that?
yeah, anything looks pretty compared to the brown brick you've been making me look or whatever dirt walls that I've looked at for the past 20 minutes in
Yeah,
Monsters. That's the only like samey part to me.
yeah. And then I guess one thing that is unique about Skyrim, the Fallout games are like this as well. Although they have a little bit more of a narrative thread pulling you along, I feel. But um, is just a very open game where
Yes.
you kind of decide what it is that you want to do, and that's what we do.
Sometimes overwhelmingly so. Like
Mhm.
it's like maybe 15 too many quests going on to
Yeah,
where you like before I think I was a lot more open to talking to people. And now it's like, oh, I don't know. Like I think that's part of the reason I didn't talk to the Jarls earlier, is
I
like
think so
they're
too.
gonna have a big thing for me to do. And
That's not even necessarily true with all of them.
sure, but it's certainly how I felt. Just and people just come up to you and give you stuff. It's like,
Yeah, that
okay,
is true.
that's one more thing to investigate, or and they all, kind of guilt you. We're like, oh, my daughter was murdered, and I need you to drop everything and figure it out. And it's like, okay, how do I weigh daughter murder versus necromancy bullshit versus like wartime crimes? I don't know. There's lots of stuff to weigh. And then I'll rank something because someone made a compelling case or just was very sympathetic when they said it, and I'll read it back. And, we've gone through my ranked quest to do. It's like, why was that important? Just seems like the pitch isn't very interesting on the page,
Yeah.
but it's like, well, or it's like that mage that was like, well, I don't think you can do it. And I was like, well, now I have to prove her wrong. Anyway, so there's a lot of quests, and
Yes.
it does lead to that thing where it's like I never feel fully informed or fully prepared to make decisions with some of the stuff. But
Well, what
it
decisions
is,
do you feel like you've had to make?
well, I mean, I still have, well, I guess some of it was at the peace meeting with the Stormcloaks and the
Yeah, well,
Amplified.
that's true. That was a disaster.
It was a disaster. And part of it was just because it timed out, which is my least favorite thing ever because I'm slow at
Yeah,
everything.
you
I
need
was
to get
so
better
mad
at
at it. I was
that.
so mad when it timed out. I didn't know it could. I didn't know it could time out.
Mm.
You were talking when it
Well, I
did.
was trying to explain to you the difference between Riften and Dawnstar.
Okay, but you didn't explain the urgency
Well, I didn't.
or do it quick enough, I guess.
Yeah,
So anyway, that was a disaster in terms of who
and
was unfair.
long-lasting impacts because that's still how those holds are today, and it's how they will be forever unless you pick a side in the war.
Uh, so yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the biggest decision in the game for sure, is picking a side in the Civil War, obviously. But you thought was going to be the main quest when we started the game.
Yeah.
And you stood corrected. And that was because about 40 hours, took us about 40 hours before we stumbled into doing the first main quest, which was retrieving the Dragon Stone from Bleak Falls Barrow. And the only reason that you picked it was not because the Jarl had asked you and his wizard had asked you to do it. It's because you wanted to collect the golden claw for your claw collection.
Well, yeah, I like a good collection.
Right.
They've got a display wall for me in my
Yes.
house. How do you resist?
So you didn't even know that you were the Dragonborn for a long time.
Yes, that's true.
And I do want to talk about the storytelling of the game, but I guess the next big piece that we should talk about is the character building aspect of the game.
Hmm.
The different races that you can choose between and interact with, the leveling system, the abilities that you have at your disposal.
That's a lot of different things.
I guess you could throw fashion in there as well, since that seems to be important for you as you play this.
All right, we'll back up one by one. What are
Okay, well, we'll start with the races then. There's 9
Well, you said
races in
character
Skyrim.
building first.
Well, yeah, I mean, like at the beginning, you have to pick your race. You obviously chose a Khajiit.
Oh, well, like building my character, not like character development of people
No,
I've
I'm
met.
talking
Because I was going to say it's a little lacking.
well, certainly. Well, that I figured that would kind of go under storytelling, but
I see.
yes, in terms of you building your character,
Oh, that's very fun. I love designing my cat. I was torn between the Khajiit and the Wood Elves because they're
Interesting.
very naturey.
right? That's right. The description is what you liked about the Wood Elf.
Yes. But ultimately I went Khajiit and I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Although there's lots of racism and stereotypes.
Yeah.
I get lots
certainly
of
is.
mean words that pass people, although I'm sure, there's so much division in Skyrim. I'm sure anyone you are,
No,
you walk by someone and they'll be mean.
not the Nords.
Really?
Yeah,
The Imperial people aren't like mad at you if you're a North?
not really.
Interesting.
The Forsworn don't like you, tell you that. But they're
That's a decision I made
they're a
that
small
I
problem.
didn't feel great about. But
Well, that was just because
the
you were faced
alternative
with
was worse.
difficult decisions.
Yeah, with the killing that guy to get out
That
of
was the last
jail.
thing we did. But yeah, so I mean, just I don't know that we've played a game before, right? Have we? Where you got to pick like a race. I mean, other than human races, but
Yeah, in Mass Effect we got to pick kind of a backstory, but not
Mhm.
not a race. And you got to pick kind of your class in terms of powers.
Which in Skyrim you do not do that.
Right.
There is no class, and so it's just defined by things that you focus on.
Which honestly, I love that element of it. I
Really?
love that you get better at the stuff you actually do because I think that's very true to life.
Okay.
It emphasizes a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, which is something I've had to learn throughout the years. Your abilities aren't innate. It's what you work at is a lot more impactful. So I really love that element of the game.
Okay.
And it gives you a lot of freedom. Like if you're not locked into
Yeah.
a certain thing, you can kind of pivot.
I like that too. It's one of my favorite things about Skyrim for sure. So what you have been primarily a mage character.
Yeah.
Specifically a conjuration mage has been your biggest focus.
Yes. I mean, I always
Technically
emphasize
illusion you do have 100, but that's just because it's easy to get to 100.
Yeah. I always emphasize speech with every character I am because it's nice to be able to talk your way out of combat. But there haven't been a ton of persuade opportunities in
No.
the game relatively. So conjuration has ended up being my biggest thing. And that started because I really loved the idea of being able to conjure a little wolf friend.
That's what it starts with, is the little wolf, and then originally it was just mostly the wolf and then the Atronachs and then the Daedra at the end. But now in the anniversary edition they added so many other things that you can conjure. I've been very impressed.
I love my bear. He takes a little
Yeah,
nap
you
as soon as he's done fighting.
conjure a bear. That's very cool. You conjure like all these ghostly figures. Now we can conjure the saints and the seducers. We have the skeleton guy we can conjure.
Right? There's one we just unlocked that we can't actually do yet.
Right. I think it sounds like a dragon priest type conjuration, but yeah, we're getting close to. I think we might be at like 90 conjuration.
Okay.
We need to get to 100 to be able to conjure that, and
Um,
it's going to take up like almost all of our magic too. So maybe even all of it. So it must be very powerful.
okay. But yeah, I really love that aspect of it. We do a little bit of other
Yeah,
magic stuff
alteration.
too.
We've used more alteration than normal, and that is because, well, now we're using alteration to shield ourselves so that you can wear non-armor, which is I almost never do that.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I love that ability in this game because it gives you a workaround to, with something like Mass Effect, it's like I have to wear this big bulky thing because Andrew tells me we won't survive if I don't. When there's
Well, in Mass Effect, I don't think you have a choice.
uh No, there were definitely different outfits in Mass Effect, right?
In Mass
You're
Effect,
thinking Fallout.
In Mass Effect 1, yeah, it was just kind of like you just had to use what you got. They all looked basically the same. They just had different designs. And in Mass Effect 2 and 3, you could change it a lot more.
Okay.
But it was still like no matter what, you're wearing some armor.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while. But regardless, I like this kind of workaround where I can um, get this perk where as a mage, you can not wear armor and then it improves your magic.
Well, it
Which,
improves your damage resist.
sure,
It's
right.
like you use magic to put your armor on.
It improves something that lets Andrew let me wear what I like, um, which I appreciate. I will say, not crazy about all of the outfit options for
Oh,
women in this game. It
okay.
definitely, you can tell who designed it and who they designed it for.
Hmm.
Um, and with all the DLCs and stuff that have come out, you'd think that they would give us some better options, but I, that's an issue with a lot of games. So
Mm.
whatever. I found one that I like, and it's blue, glowy, made
Which
for
is was also not in the original game. That was something that they added in the anniversary edition. It's like his kind of robe that's got this design on the front.
yeah, brings out my eyes, matches my crown.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. So you get to enchant the different crowns.
hmm Been doing lots of enchanting, and then kind of our really a jeweler is kind of our main
Oh yeah, because
profession.
that's the thing. That's with that system, you get better at doing things, and all of them will contribute to your overall level up. And so it incentivizes you to do that stuff, make potions, make smith some stuff. So you can smith armor too and weapons, but it's very easy and lucrative to smith jewelry.
Hmm. Uh,
And then you can enchant it, so it's like double.
yeah.
And then you sell it. So it's actually like triple because that's how you build up your speech. Just by selling stuff.
But with the leveling up and stuff, the skill trees are gorgeous, like the way that it's set against the, well, it's
The Sky of
Sky.
Sovngarde.
Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous. Very satisfying to level up. I like that kind of skill tree. Um, Not quite as satisfying as the Wizards Unite skill tree, but close. One of the best I've seen. Um,
Won't be able to test that one.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Other key aspects of my character is that I always have my fox and my bunny with me. Sweet
Right.
rolling Thistle.
That's Skyrim.
We always give Thistle different ingredients to hold whenever we get something new, so I can see if I can plant it, and then I'm disappointed when most of them I can't in my
Yeah,
own
that is a
method.
little disappointing.
I don't know
Yeah.
how hard that would be, but
So I guess with the storytelling of the game, the main arc, I suppose, is the return of the dragons happens at the beginning.
right?
Then they kind of
Didn't know
introduce.
that for a long time.
Well,
Stormcloak Empire
they know it
Civil
at
War
the very
was.
beginning.
Well, I knew that the dragon. I didn't know that that was going to be the main thrust of the
Right.
game.
So then they do kind of introduce the Civil War, and they position it as a very big deal, which it is. But really, the main quest is about Return of the Dragons, the reveal that you are the Dragonborn. You go meet the Greybeards and the Blades. You kind of sort of end up going in one direction over the other because the Blades ask you to kill Parthenax. Greybeards are opposed to that.
Hmm.
And then Alduin is the big villain. So
Right.
you've recently experienced all that stuff because we did that fairly recently in the grand scheme of our Skyrim playthrough. So what did you think?
It was fun. It like wasn't the most in-depth thing in the world. Um, but I liked the Greybeards. I was never gonna kill my old
Parthenax?
man mentor dragon in a million years.
Sure.
I liked him. I was a little disappointed when the frequency of dragon attacks didn't go down at all after I fixed that whole
Yeah,
thing.
that is the truth. It does not. But that is because you need to collect dragon souls to be able to learn different shouts.
Yeah, but you should really have your gameplay enhance your lore, not conflict with it.
They would probably disagree with you on that.
Well, no, they wouldn't say that you should actively make your gameplay conflict with the lore of the
No,
game.
but I
It's
think
just
if they
new.
had to pick between the two, they would pick the gameplay any day.
Well, I'm not holding a controller, so.
Yeah.
And I didn't discover shouts were a thing until, what, 50 hours of the
I
game?
think it was 40 something, but yes. Yeah, so like a big part of the game you do not have the shouts. So did you feel that that changed your outlook or kind of the way that you looked at the game when you found out that you were Dragonborn?
Well, I mean, like dragons weren't it was the return of one dragon for the majority of my gameplay.
Hmm.
So dragons became a lot bigger deal at that point.
Right.
I'd gotten hints about shouts and stuff. We'd made the hike up to the
Third of the world.
throat of the world once and read all the little signs.
Right.
And so I kind of knew that voice was a big deal and that they used their
Well, there's
voice
also
very
the rumor
sparingly.
that Ulfric killed the High King with his voice.
Right, which I didn't actually make the connection there when I was reading all those signs. I kind of had it segmented in my mind. And I still don't know that I've had a clear answer on how he did that. Like for a while I was like, oh, was he Dragonborn and like a bad version? But I guess he just learned it on his own. Or I don't know. I've talked to him. I don't think he really explained himself. I don't think he studied under the monks.
You know?
They didn't mention him.
I guess not.
I've talked to them quite a bit. I thought we were chill. Are they keeping things from me?
Well, they did keep Parthenax from you.
Well, okay, but what if I was that's a fair thing to protect. I'm kind of known for wanting to kill a dragon, so like at least one. That's it's fair.
Hmm.
Are they would be different than Ulfric, I think. I don't know. And they say they want to be so politically neutral.
Yes.
So, to have given him the power to assassinate a political leader is, you know,
Well, maybe they didn't think that he would use it for that purpose.
sure. But, you think they'd want to own up to it and be wary or like warn me, like, hey, I
Well, they
mean,
did. They said their arrogance of power has tempted many a Dragonborn.
okay. Well, we'll have to. I'm curious about Ulfric. I want to talk to him more and know more about him.
Is he the character that has stood out the most to you in this game?
Hmm. I guess aside from people I've traveled with, because people make a bigger
Well,
impression
even
when
then, it
they're
seemed like you
fighting
were
with you
kind of
all the time.
disappointed about some of the people that we traveled with.
Well, sure. It's not like Mass Effect where you travel with them and
No.
then you get more story later and your bond grows. It's like you travel with them and then they might have a few lines that they say.
Hmm.
You don't get a ton of development with them after that.
No.
Um, but still, that makes them like stand out more in my memory. I, I mean, the Greybeards stick out. The lady I collected Nimroots for. The we spent a lot of time at the college, so
Hmm.
there was like the main people on the quest line there.
Which were
The old man and the
Tolfdir.
mentor guy and the
Mentor.
guy that was fucking with the blue ball.
Sure.
Those guys. And then your professor, the ogre,
Oh, yes, of course.
or not ogre, is that what they're called?
They're orcs.
Orcs. Um, they kind of stand out. The lady I collected Nimroots for, is, marriage contender, so of course she sticks out.
Okay.
For some reason, like the people at the inn in Riften kind of stick out, but I think that's probably just because
The
we've
people
gotten
at the
there.
inn?
That's
Like the Argonians?
no, like the lady and the younger lady that kind of slut shames her.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because we spent a lot of time there giving out the word of Mara.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't know. They kind of stuck with me,
That's
even though
interesting.
we got very little from them.
Right. Well, that's because you refused to help the other one with the slut shaming.
Sure.
That's kind of the quest there. So if you're not going to do it, then that's kind of that.
Well, yeah. Oh, I liked the guy that we kind of got his family backstory for him. And then I was really torn when to proceed with the story, I had to get him sent to jail.
Ah, Brian Shea.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Skyrim character.
I just like flat out refused to do that for a while. And Andrew was kind of like, you have to if you want to.
Well, it was like the main quest was Esbern was in the Ratway, and we needed to ask Brynjolf about where he was, and he wouldn't tell us unless we blackmailed Branche. Or not
Yeah.
blackmailed, I guess we planted evidence on him.
Ugh, for that snake oil salesman, I was so mad. I will say that's one critique of this game is there's been a couple things where it's just like, well, I'm just not willing to do that. And that if it was me, that's just the end of the game. Like
Mm.
I literally with the jail thing.
The forsworn conspiracy.
Yeah, I just like
Specifically escaping Sidna Mine.
outright refused to kill anybody.
And you had to.
And yeah, Andrew was like, and I was like, well, I'm done with the game. It's been fun.
You had to.
Andrew had like made me.
As far as I know, the only way to leave is you either kill the guy that Madanach asks you to kill, or you kill Madanach. And you went with Madanach.
Yeah.
And then Thonar Silverblood was waiting for us on the other side. Like, nice work. You really helped me out taking care of him. And then he was immediately killed by a dwarven sphere that followed us outside of the cave.
So that kind of took care of that dilemma of like, well, no, these people think I'm chill. But anyway.
And by the way, we gotta actually, because I booted it up while I was just preparing some notes here, just an hour or two ago, and we actually got a note from the courier,
Oh, perfect.
and it was
Just hoping
actually
he
it was from
was it.
the Jarl of Markarth right now, who is also Silverblood, and he said that he was very sad to let us know that Thonar had died,
Oh no.
and that
He definitely didn't know last
he had
time we
actually he
talked
had actually written us into his will. So we received 100 gold from his death.
to him. That's very nice.
90 actually after he took the taxes out.
It's pretty stingy for the wealthiest family and
Markarth, yeah.
yeah.
Yep. So
Well,
not too impressed with the characters, that it sounds like.
no, not compared to a lot of the other games we've played.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. What about, are there any quests that we've done that stood out to you as being good? Because Skyrim, it is, we haven't played really The Witcher 3. We played a little bit, but we're holding off on that until we finish the books and actually play through the games. That's definitely viewed as the gold standard of side quests.
Right?
But we've also played Fallout, which are fairly well known for side quests, and certainly Skyrim is known for it, and they have whole side quest lines like College of Winterhold. So what do you think about them so far? Are there any that stand out to you?
Well, the Winterhold stuff might be the best.
Really?
Um, yeah, I liked that. I liked the sense of discovery there, and I don't really have a ton to say about it. Like it wasn't the deepest thing in the world. It just kind of had a fun fantasy feel.
Okay.
Um, I I mean, obviously I loved getting my last unicorn. I loved
That was barely a quest, but
getting my fox and bunny
yeah,
and
getting the pets of Skyrim.
getting my houses and my adopting my kids. But those aren't really
Yeah, those are what I would define as ancillary activities.
sure. Um, I liked certain things to where I get to collect stuff.
Also an ancillary activity.
All right, all right. What has there been? I guess that was main quest, but the Peace Council.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, I like the little romance setups, like playing matchmaker.
Ah, that was the Book of Love.
That was one of them. We've had a few. I mean, we got Fanandel through some matchmaking,
Oh, that's
our
true.
very first companion. We got the
I think that's all.
there was that lady
It
that
wasn't the Book of Love.
like what's kind of torn between two guys. Well, she wasn't really torn. She had an ex that was still into her, and then she had a new guy that she wanted to run away with, and her dad didn't want her to.
Mm-hmm. That's the Book of Love. It includes that. It included that high elf mage guy that lives in Markarth and the previous Jarl's House Carl.
Yeah, I liked that one.
And then there was the
The
ghost.
ghostly ones.
Mhm. And then so that was like the main part of that quest. And then at the end it also was, I guess it was not really for that quest, but I can't remember, or maybe it is. Maybe it's part of that quest as well, where we handed out all the different flyers.
Oh, was it really?
It's definitely for the same person that we did that.
That was always very funny.
So yeah, that's your favorite quest.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a lot of fun. Like there might have been other stuff that had better like politics or moral dilemmas or whatever, but I'm blanking on it right now, and I remember having a lot of fun setting up those couples.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Some other ones that I wrote were pretty early on. Well, actually, very early on, we did the Blessings of Nature, which was where we fixed the tree in Whiterun.
Oh yeah, I didn't feel great about how that ended up.
Well, yeah, it did result in the deaths of some people, worshippers of Kinnereth and lovers of nature.
Yeah, and as a lover of nature myself,
Mm.
that felt pretty bad, but it is nice to
They
see
did
it to
fix
be
the
all
tree.
fixed. So,
There's that. There was Tending the Flames, which was another one that we did way back. That was actually the main Bard's College quest where we had to kind of rewrite the lost verse of King Olaf One Eye or whatever and convince Elisif that they should keep the festival going where they burn the effigy of the king.
okay, rings a bell. Didn't really stick with me, but
There was the quest with Barbas, the dog, where
oh, that dog.
yeah. Then there, of course, the College Winterhold. More recently, there was the murder mystery in Windhelm
Oh, that was fun. Although I was deeply unsatisfied with how it ended, because I didn't end up talking to my
to Woodford.
suspect. Yeah,
You just turned him in.
and that's a deeply unsatisfying way to end a murder mystery, like without the confrontation. But the people in the town were like, "Don't talk to her." And I was
Him.
like, "Well, okay, if you insist." I'm trying to do things by the book, and then it was deeply unsatisfying. And you kind of gave me a look like the killer was still on the loose.
I did not. Did nothing of the sort.
Uh, so I really liked that one at the beginning, although the body at the beginning was almost a little too graphic for me. Like the
Too
fact
graphic
that
for
she was
you.
like,
Fall, a big fan of The Last of Us Part 2, but that Skyrim corpse was too much.
it was a little too real. Like people, women are really left like that in their underwear with like her legs were spread and she had all these gashes and it was just really horrendous to look at. I don't know. For some reason that one was a little much, but then I did like the investigation, following the blood trail
Hmm.
and discovering clues and investigating, talking to people.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that one too.
so everything other than, so I don't know. I'm not normally too sensitive about that, but maybe I listen to too much true crime to know like how real that shit is.
And then the last one, the quest we did most recently, the Forsworn Conspiracy, is often cited as a good Skyrim quest.
Uh, yeah, again, I wish there was a way to get out of it that felt true to my character.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I mean, if you're locked up and there was nothing that you could do about that, I mean, you could. You did say I'll come quietly. You didn't try to fight your way out of there. Whenever they killed Elfrís.
because clearly,
You did have a big reaction when the guards killed Elfrís from uh arrested you.
yeah, that was very sad. He had either a baby on the way or an
Maybe on the way.
baby. That was very sad. Is his wife around? Can we talk to her?
I think she was the one that worked in Thonar's place. So we did talk to her.
Hmm.
She
Right.
survived that. She was in mortal danger then because that they kill Thonar's wife in that scene. The force
Right.
the maid and the janitor turned out to be
Mhm.
forceful.
Uh, well, I came quietly because I thought it was a way to get in and
It was.
to investigate that guy
That's
more.
exactly what it was.
But I don't know. There's other ways we could have gotten out. We could have rushed the guards. They come occasionally.
Once a week.
Could have pickpocketed the key and then escaped. Like
Well, you didn't try that.
you told me I was out of, you said that the only ways I could do it.
No, you said I did not.
Shouldn't pickpocket
You
before you
didn't.
killed him.
You
When it
didn't.
came up in red, right when you were about to kill him, I was like, "Oh, we can pickpocket him," and then you killed him.
Oh well, I must have not even heard that because you'd already told me to kill him.
It's an option.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Ugh.
It probably would have failed because our pickpocket skill is zero essentially because we've never pickpocketed anyone before. But I wouldn't be surprised. Usually you can pick keys off of people. So
At the very least, I should have been able to tell that guy that I was ordered to kill him.
you could, but then he would have. I mean, the way that you tell him is Madanach says hello, which is
Yeah,
I think it incites him to fight back.
yeah. That was I didn't push that because that was clear.
Hmm.
Um, so, but you know what I mean, like tell him in a friendly way.
Well, everybody else in that prison was on the king's side, so I mean, really, like if you wouldn't, the only reason that you didn't have to kill everybody was because the king was in that back room and we were able to slip out the back.
Yeah. That was my first murder in the
That's
game.
right.
And I didn't feel good about it. I didn't like being forced to murder.
But is that good storytelling then, where you are presented with these things that
Well, if you make me
evoke
actually
the
feel
emotion?
like that's like the best way out of this moral dilemma, like I'm torn about it, but oh, I've got to, which I'm sure is something that The Witcher will make me do. But
I'm sure.
I didn't feel cornered enough for the game to be like, that's all you can do,
Well,
and me to
you
buy
had a
it.
life sentence in a horrible
We could have
slave
reversed the
camp.
cards. We could have.
You can't because they're locked you in there.
Yeah, he got the tunnel.
Well,
Couldn't I make a tunnel?
this is just that he had worked on that for decades.
I just didn't feel great about that.
Hmm.
But I mean, the politics of it was interesting. His arguments for why they were on the right side of history with that. I tend to be pretty pacifist, so it's hard to make arguments for violence for me. And that's part of my issue with the Empire and the Stormcloaks, is they're both very bloodthirsty.
That is true.
And that's an immediate turn off for me.
Hmm. So then I guess the big thing that you seem to, I don't know, maybe it's your favorite part of the game is the ancillary activities, the house building, the gardening, the fishing, collecting things.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
But that's an aspect of the game as well. Like they put all that stuff in there
Some
for
of the
people like you.
waterfalls, the new areas,
So,
being the culture of.
I mean, how well do you think that they execute on those things? As someone who's played 400 hours or whatever it is in a Disney game.
Well, I think. I mean, but not everything's, or especially with the ancestry stuff, lots of things aren't thought through. The implications of lots of things. I'd like to be able to plant more of my stuff, or um, you'll do something and then someone will say something down the line that completely ignores or contradicts what you've done because they didn't think through the implications of it because it's just like a little side thing.
Yes.
Um, and of course, the game is very glitchy, so lots of things go wrong.
Hmm.
But ignoring all of that, I really like exploring the world. It really immerses me in the fantasy setting, which is my favorite setting to be in.
Hmm.
I think it's a nice balance of magic and whimsy and medieval grit. Um, there's lots of little things that can come, partly because not everything is super thought out. There's a lot of little funny things that can come up organically,
Yes, definitely.
that make it a lot of fun. So yeah, mostly positive.
But what about the collection? Like, are you satisfied by the houses that they have for you and the fish that you can catch and the gardening, the plants, the collection things like collecting the different outfits and the claws and stuff?
Well, outfits leave something to be desired.
Hmm.
But I still like the process of collecting them.
Okay.
It's just kind of one of those things where mostly I've had to like lower my standards of what could be collected. Uh, and it's not designed for me. I'm not going to get Disney Dreamlight Valley level ball gowns.
No.
Um, but still, it's very clear that most of it was designed for the male characters or for the male gaze.
Okay.
Um, and then, but I've got my one outfit that I like pretty well.
Okay.
So that's satisfying. Um, it's more than I can say for a lot of games,
Yeah.
including probably Fallout. I don't know if I ever got that.
Probably not.
Um, and then, like I said, the plants, I would love to be able to actually plant more of them.
Okay.
And I would love to see more variety of flowers and have some of them a little bit more localized. Like they do it to an extent, but I would love to see them go more all out with that aspect.
Okay.
And I like the collection shelves like that.
Which is a lot of that was added in the anniversary edition as well, because the base house, the houses that were originally in the game, don't really have those. Like they might have the houses that you build definitely gave you the mannequins and stuff, and the weapon racks, but not the ones like you see in the added houses where they have specific slots for various things.
Yeah, I find those slots very satisfying. Things like the jars of butterflies,
There's
like
the
are
jar,
very
yeah. There's the jars. There's the claws. There are the dragon priest masks.
right.
There's one with staffs. Each of the
Like the
staffs.
shrines, the
Oh
fish.
yeah,
Where
the
you,
shrines. Well, actually, that's in the house building. That was a part of Hearthfire, which was one of the DLCs.
okay,
Which that is satisfying to build each of the shrines.
and then put our fish on display. The houses,
Yeah, the fish was definitely an anniversary edition.
some of them I'm not crazy about, but some of them are really cute. There's that one that's very homey, and you show up and there's like butterflies and a deer right in front of your house,
I
and
love
surrounded
that.
by
That's outside
flowers.
Whiterun.
On the water. I like that you get to move your kids in and have like a bard in your house, and uh, I get every house we can because I like exploring them and seeing.
There's still several that we do not have, I think. I mean, you can build up to the ones that you build, you can build three.
Hmm.
And then we don't have a house in Solitude. We could not afford a house in Solitude right now because you've blown all our money on other houses.
Sure.
Um, we do have one in Markarth. We do have one in Riften. We do have one in Whiterun. Those are kind of the other major holds, I guess. Um, I think Winterhold is literally just too destroyed where they just don't even offer you a house there. And then you can build houses.
Well, I guess Winterhold, you get I have my room, or my room is the, what's the word?
The Archmage.
Archmage.
Yes, that's true. And then in the ones where you build houses are in or near Falkreath, Dawnstar, and Morthal.
Okay.
I think that's all of them. So it's really just the
Well, there's
two.
the haunted one that is on like a plantation or something, right?
Yeah, how do you know about that?
Because when Google, I was looking up house stuff, so I knew which
Mm,
rooms to pick, and there was four. There was those three that you build, and then that one.
huh. Not really sure what you're talking about. I mean, I know there is definitely a haunted plantation. Yes, that was an anniversary edition though. They added what is it like 10 houses because like they added the Tender Homestead, which is the one outside of Whiterun that you really like. They added Mirrorwatch, which we have that's like a tower. They added Hindraheim, which is where we have a lot of our armor and weapons stored. That's
That's
where
the one
our
that was
kids
someone
play.
else's first,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. They wanted
That's
to,
not my favorite, but it is, nice. It's our first.
and there's quite a few remaining that you have not found yet.
Okay. I love the location of the one we built, like on the
Yeah, next to the lake.
a very nature
They
area.
all the three that you build, they put them all three of them in pretty good locations. My favorite location is the Dawnstar location, which is also close to Whiterun. You don't need it as much because it would actually be pretty close to where our Tender Homestead is. So
Mm.
it kind of takes a little bit of the interest in it out, I guess, because the majority of the time I spent with the game that does not exist.
Okay.
But
The greenhouse is my favorite room in any of the houses. I really love how you get different bugs each time.
yeah, I was impressed by that
Butterflies
too,
or
actually.
like
'Cause
once you plant everything, you get moss.
I have not usually built that room because I usually build the kids room.
And that is a bummer is that the three best rooms you can't do at the same time. It's like the master bedroom, the kids' room, and the
Well, you always need a master
greenhouse.
bedroom.
Yeah, but you can
It's
get
a
like an
plus.
upgraded master bedroom.
I don't think so. I think it's just a
Or maybe
general.
the
I think it's
kids'
just.
room comes with the upgraded master.
I don't think it's an upgraded master. I think it's just a. I think it's just a kid's bedroom.
Okay, maybe I'm getting it mixed up with something else.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think I'm right.
Yes. Well, and then was that the same? Was it the same room options for each of the houses you build?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think they did that because it's if you put the three best ones together, it's an incentive to get the other houses so you could have
Sure.
all three of the best ones.
It does take a little bit of time to build the houses, a little bit of work compared to obviously just buying them, but I've always found it to be pretty satisfying.
It's nice to customize them.
Hmm.
I'd love more options. Like it's
Well,
some of them are.
I actually kind of like how that's one of the things I like about it is that they don't overwhelm you with options. So you just pick what you want and then execute it. You hire a steward and they furnish it for you over time, and
Sure.
you're done.
Well, I mean, some of them they could do better. Like there's just like a storage room when the storage stuff is already infinite. Like you
Sure,
can put as much stuff in the barrel as you
that
want.
is true.
Um, the trophy room is kind of cool, but not really my aesthetic. The armory, we kind of already have armories in other houses.
That's true.
The library, you have to supply all your own books, which is a lot of work.
Yeah, that is a lot of work.
Um, but
Well, is there anything that we have not done yet in the game that you are looking forward to, or anything that you are curious about? Because there's still really a lot. Like we've done, I think technically, if you looked at when you pause the game and you look at your stats, I think it would say that you have completed 2 quest lines.
okay,
And there are, I can think of 6 more major ones, I would say.
okay. Well, I'm hard on the Thieves Guild.
Well, you think right now that you're thieves.
I'm not. Maybe if the snake oil salesman drops dead
Oh,
and
drop
someone
set.
I love comes and
They had a
rents
hot
it.
girl down there though.
But I'm really trying to break Khajiit stereotypes. You were stealing a
Ooh.
little bit when I wanted cute clothes, but I think we're done with that.
Mm, okay.
And then the Assassins Guild, I'm a hard no on that. I didn't like how they made me murder someone.
That was pretty fun though. You really investigated that. It
Yeah,
was the Khajiit.
on one hand, I think it's cool that there wasn't actually a right answer. On the other hand, it was deeply unsatisfying. Kind of wish I had tried to murder the lady that locked us up in there, but kind of made it sound like that wouldn't have worked.
No, I think you can do that.
Well, fuck.
But then I didn't want you to do that because then you can't do the Dark Brotherhood quest line.
But I wasn't going to do the Dark Brotherhood anyway. They're so murdery. The only
You
reason
never
they
know.
got that far is because they made that
Yeah,
old lady comically awful.
I know. I think that was actually pretty clever on their part
Yeah.
to because like any character is gonna murder that. I mean, she literally chains up children to the wall.
Yeah, but then I did feel bad about it because all the kids are like, man, assassins are the best.
Yeah.
Like, I
It's
want to be an
so
assassin
good.
when I grow up.
I think that's honestly just like a really great touch. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's good moral dilemma stuff.
Yeah.
But it did make me feel bad about
I
myself.
mean, you haven't even you haven't even gone down to now the Thieves Guild. You kind of walked through there. Brynjolf asked you to take care of some deadbeats for him that owed him some money, and you said no, I will not be doing that. Although there's a decent chance that you would be able to convince them to do that since you have your persuade. It would be an opportunity to utilize your persuade skills. But then in the Dark Brotherhood, she invited you to the sanctuary, and you have not even you haven't even gone in there and looked.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem pretty murdery to me.
Oh well, they are absolutely Brotherhood of Assassins, yes.
It's not really my thing.
But Jack and Nagar's cool.
Hmm. Cool's an interesting to go with there.
Valar Morghulis.
Yeah, that's not like something I know the show maybe made it seem cool, but it's not something to idolize. It's something to scream at Arya, get away from there. I know that all the trauma is back with you,
But
but
she utilizes those skills to her benefit later.
uh-huh.
And kills Walder Frey.
That's also not
And also the
something I'm
Night King.
screaming, oh, so
It
cool.
comes in handy against the Night King.
I don't think she uses those skills at all against the Night King. I
Well,
think she
she learned
uses
she
basic sword
gets her
fighting.
dexterity enhanced, I would argue, through her
Okay.
training there.
Mostly she just hides in a tree and then drops down.
Well, sure, but she had to
But
be
she
able
could have
to
done that without
she had to be
assassin
able to
school.
catch that dagger she dropped. It was a
I
risky
think
move.
her Sirio training probably could have covered that. But I
Maybe.
think
He
really she
didn't train her
only
with the dagger.
Well, anyway, we're talking Game of Thrones show spoilers, so we should probably we did not give people warnings about that.
No. They're just not gonna mean anything out of context. But even if you are lame and don't do those two quest lines,
See, I thought you said you wanted me to do whatever
I do. I want you to prioritize the things that you want, but I still think that you should see those through. But
Is Jon Snow going to see those through?
he is.
Jon Snow would not join Assassin.
Well, you say that, but he did join the Wildlings whenever he was forced to do so.
But it's not the same thing.
Well, he's not gonna want to do it, but there is gonna be there's of course now I know the direction that the story of those organizations takes, and you don't. So there's ways that he's gonna be able to justify them. But they are not priorities for him. So obviously that's not his like focus. And there's a case to me. I think though actually I was gonna say there's a case to be made that the character that I made would not do those. However, I think that he would.
You're trying to justify it so that you can do more time with him.
No, I think that literally it's going to be important for the character arc that I've come up with for him.
Okay, well maybe we'll have to do a follow-up episode where I've completed more of Skyrim and you tell us where Jon Snow is gone.
Well, I can tell you. Well, I guess I really shouldn't say much about what he's done just because much of the things that I focused on with Jon Snow are things that you have not even begun. They are quest lines that you have not started that are not objectionable. So, like, they are certainly, I'm sure you will do them.
Yeah, you've talked about like maybe not brotherhood, but a group of.
There is a group. So, and they tell you about this very early on. And there's a group that lives in Whiterun. They're called the Companions. And you have not even you know that they exist because when you first walk into Whiterun, you either help them defeat a giant or you don't, but they still come up and talk to you either way. And they're like, you should talk to our leader, I think. And you're like, see, for something you was not high on your priorities. But it's like that. Remember that there's that building in Whiterun with that's really just an overturned ship, like a Viking ship.
Right.
And it's the first building that ever existed in Whiterun, and all of Whiterun was built around it. So it's been there for longer than anything else there. And so that is the quest line that I am going to complete first with Jon Snow. It's actually still not completely completed, but I'm literally just about to do the last quest. And then there is the Dawn Guard, which they have told you about to a degree, where they're like, there's a group of vampire hunters that is amassing in the east near Riften. And
It sounds like a lot of combat to me.
well, for Jon Snow, there's something kind of to that where he's obviously got a thing against the occult.
Yeah.
And necromancy and things like that.
I'm less interested in that than wizard school, but
Well, that's why you did wizard school first.
and then at least like the Civil War has a lot of politics going on where I can
so with
debate the sides.
Jon Snow is going to do that as well, of course. I haven't decided exactly when I'm going to put that in, but I have an idea when he's going to hit that.
So that's what, 5? You said there's a 6th one that I don't know about?
Yes, and you visited very briefly. You did visit Solstheim, which was a different, it was separate from Skyrim entirely. Like we took a boat over there, and all we did there was we made that Nordic jewelry.
Right. And that was interesting because there's some elf politics going on there.
Yeah, it is actually technically a part of Morrowind, and so that's where the Dark Elves are in charge.
So that might be what I'm most curious about, other than the Civil War.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was on your hierarchy you had. Because one thing about Reagan's hierarchy is she has not actually conclusively put the Civil War on the list because
so whenever I feel informed enough to make a decision,
unclear about which way you want to go on that.
Which I think I'm leaning Empire if I pick a side just based on I can't really get behind Ulfric murdering that guy just to show that he was weak.
That is what he said.
I don't think a leader has to be a great fighter to be a great leader.
Like Bran.
that's one example. uh, so, like if his wife succeeded him and became High Queen, like my guess is she's not the most skilled fighter. Does that mean that we've
Well, I don't think that she would have the respect of
Definitely.
Ulfric Stormcloak.
and that's just not what I prioritize for
So you have some
respect.
some clear differences with him.
Sure.
But at the same time, you feel like he's kind of the most interesting character.
Well, I don't know. Still not like a ton of depth there
Yeah.
that I've seen, but I've only talked to him like a couple times.
Sure.
He's certainly one of the most hyped.
Yeah, I think it was kind of cool how we did it, where we didn't talk to him in person for a really long time, and so you hear like all these other people talk about him. Kind of similar to the dragons returning. His like that was a big threat for a long time, and then it actually came to pass. It was kind of like the Mass Effect 3, and the Reapers actually start to show up.
Right.
It's like, oh, here they are. So I actually thought that was pretty cool. But with I can see how on the surface the Dawn Guard. Well, first of all, one thing about the Dawn Guard is it does allow us to open up another collection thing that you had like looked into a long time ago.
Oh, that's right. These fancy stones.
I don't even know what you're talking about with that.
They look pretty.
But
There's a slot for him in our room.
there are
Compelling to me.
there are twists with there's a twist. I would say that there's a twist with the companions. There's a twist with the Dawn Guard
Well, I like twists.
that I think once you start them, I think you'll be like, oh, this is pretty interesting.
Okay.
But I don't want to spoil what those are for you.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that's cool about Skyrim. We've spent 70 hours with it. Now we've been pretty slow because you have been doing a lot of ancillary activities, which is fine. I mean, we spent literal hours fishing and literal hours working on our house and other collection aspects.
Well, if you're gonna give me an aquarium, I'm gonna want to fill it with a diverse collection of fish.
And we have. And there's something to be said for that. I've enjoyed that to a degree. But as a result of that, we still have a lot of actual game content that we have not done yet.
Sure.
So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, maybe we'll do a part 2 of this whenever you have completed more of the quest lines or whenever you're just like kind of finished with what you've done.
Maybe I'll have a wife by then.
That's true. You haven't even picked a wife, and it's a big decision because it's permanent.
Right.
It's not even until death do us part.
Yeah.
Something happened to your wife and you die, and that's just it. It's
They
like,
don't
well,
want people killing their wives to
I'm
get
a widow.
my only contender right now is the lady
That
we
dark elf.
collected. Yeah, all
I don't
the
remember her name because I
invites for.
literally have probably never spoken to her with any other character I've ever made in Skyrim.
Well, she had kind of an interesting dilemma. Like, I don't know. Got some
She knew
chemistry with
something.
her. Dynamic with her sister.
Yep.
I've never met anyone with a passion for Nimroots, so
She's definitely got a passion for Ninroots.
I liked her mentor based on his journal entries. Of course, he passed away. But he made me itch to do some field work.
Oh,
So, he's one of my top 2 people that we didn't meet that
Ah.
I just read from. The other one being the guy that gave us the unicorn quest,
Right.
because he also talked about wildlife field work and his studies.
yeah.
I'm probably the only person in the world that was like, "Oh my God, we have to meet this guy. Where is he? Is he still
Definitely.
around?"
I'm certain that you are. But okay, we'll leave it there for now. For our discussion on Skyrim, I do need to, for the podcast, I certainly need to get back to other series that we started here. I've got one episode left in my top 100 artists of all time. We still have our Disney villainous characters and ranking to do.
Right.
And then of course there's finishing the Game of Thrones and Andor series that we started as well. But I've just got to pull myself away from Skyrim to get to work on this,
Right.
which is very challenging over the last couple of weeks.
Sure.
But in the meantime, remember you can write into the show at ControlledBurnes with an ES at gmail.com. And if you like the show, you can subscribe, follow, like, review wherever you listen to your podcast. But for now, we'll leave it there. Until next time, keep it warm.
Keep it warm.